Hey, welcome to another countdown to Outbound. I'm Mark Hunter, the sales hunter. And you know what? I have got my cup of coffee. I'm even using a Creighton mug because in the house today, we have Art Sobczak. Now, he's going to be joining us in just a second. So, well, screw it. Hey, let's just cut to the video and get Art in here. Why should we worry about introducing Art? Let's let Art introduce himself. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Mark. Thank you so much for having me on. I am so jacked up about Outbound. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to really attend and learn from everybody else, and certainly to present. And I'm just beside myself. Can 2 weeks can't get here fast enough.
Hey, we got you on the main stage. You are on the main stage, and you are even bringing the barbecue truck, right? Right?
Well, actually, I don't have a barbecue truck. The last competition I did a couple weeks ago, I had to rent an RV and a trailer to carry my smokers. Okay. So no, won't be bringing them. Maybe I could borrow some because Georgia is a great barbecue state, and I'm sure there's a lot of people there who might let me borrow one, and maybe we could set up outside and do some barbecue vending for people. Throw some ribs out in the audience.
You know, out in front of the plaza, the Georgia World Congress Center, there's plenty of space. You could set the RV up, get the trailer. You could bring in some of your barbecue friends and have a little smoker competition. You know, that'd be good.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll talk about sales right now, but maybe when we get to the after the show, we'll talk more. Hey, okay. I do have to hold up this book because this is without a doubt one of the best books on sales anyone can buy. Smart Calling.
Wow,
it really is. So. Kudos.
Well, thank you so much. And actually, it's withstood the test of time for a reason, and that is because there's solid principles that are not rocket science that work. And when I first came up with the idea, actually, I had been training the idea for about over 10, 15 years before the book even came out, and the concept's pretty simple. You're sitting down, right? Brace yourself, because minds are going to be blown here. Let's know something about the people that we're calling so that we can make our messaging relevant and of possible value to the person hearing it, so they might even have a slim chance of wanting to hear what we say. How's that?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to Countdown to Outbound. I'm Mark Hunter, and with Art, you're right. I mean, that is dead on. That is, and you know what's funny? That hasn't changed in 100 years. It hasn't changed in 1,000 years.
No.
It's amazing. And it won't change for another 100 years, at least. Yeah.
It's interesting, and you see this too, how people are always looking for the next new shiny object, the new sales enablement tool, the sales 3.0, social selling, whatever. And basically, it still gets down to humans talking to humans, having a relevant message of some possible value so that we can engage them in a conversation, ask questions, and make a recommendation that may be able to help them. I mean, how tough is it?
It's not that tough, but I got to ask you this question. Why do people chase the shiny object?
Well, I think it's human nature that people want the easy button, right? People want the easy button. They want the magic words, the secret sauce, that one phrase that's going to close the deal. How am I going to get past the screener? Give me, one phrase that's going to do that. It's like, come on, folks. When somebody says to me, what's the best way to do like this one thing? I say, I don't know. What's the best way to build a house? There's so many variables involved, right? And there's a process that's involved. And that's the thing that a lot of people skip. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to have a process and then learn what goes into the process and then practice within that process. And there are so many things that are involved in being a successful salesperson. It's simple in the sense that I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's not easy in the sense that we can just do one thing and all of a sudden people are going to be throwing credit cards at us or purchase orders.
But that's what I saw on a TikTok video a few minutes ago. Come on.
Well, go to LinkedIn, and I'm sure somebody is.
Oh man, I'm going to share with you an interesting observation. The top performing salespeople are also the most disciplined salespeople. Agree?
Actually, you just you a little preview here. You stole one of my points for my keynote, which is going to be the secrets that I've learned from nearly 40 years of outbound, the sales secrets of the superstars. And here's a little secret between you and I, Mark. I'm not sure if anybody else is listening.
We will turn the audience off on this. Okay. Go ahead.
They're really not that secret. And like you said, most of these things haven't changed over the years, but certainly being disciplined is one of them, especially, and you know this, you've written about this, you're an expert in this. When it comes to prospecting, it needs to be non-negotiable, not something that you fit in between checking emails or, cleaning out your files. And that's where the discipline comes in.
I thought prospecting was what I did after I had everything else done. I mean, you're killing me, man. You're killing me.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's after I send out all my automated emails or my emails that say, "Can I get 15 minutes on your calendar?"
Yeah, or the infamous one that I love, just checking in.
Yeah. Or how about this one? Just wanted to bump this one to the top of your inbox.
Yeah. Wanted to bump this one just wanted to bump this one to the top of the inbox. Yeah. Like, you got to be, I mean, it is funny. You know what's funny though? People share with me email. They say, "Oh, but it gets a great response rate." I know, but it doesn't result in a sale. Yeah. You can send out a giggles and a chuckle email, but it's not going to generate business. So, I mean, this is where it comes back. This is why I love what you talk about, smart calling. Pick up the phone and make the call. Make the call. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what we want to do by whatever means necessary, I mean, the ethical means, is to engage somebody in a conversation and have them be interested when we're doing it. Okay, because we can engage somebody in a conversation who might be mad or who might be saying, "Quit bothering me." But I want somebody who's leaning in because I said something that caused them to think, this guy might have something of possible interest that could maybe help me. I'll talk. And then we build on that, because the first 10 seconds of a call earns us the next 20 seconds and earns us the next 30, the next minute, the next couple minutes, where hopefully we have somebody into that conversation. And maybe our goal is to set an appointment for a face-to-face meeting. I heard those are happening now. And or to just do the entire transaction over the phone, which I'll be talking about at Outbound as well. My entire career, I've heard people say, "You can't do that over the phone." And all I do is just point to the people that are doing it successfully and crushing it.
I tell you what, the people who say it can't be done over the phone are the ones who don't want to talk on the phone.
Right.
I mean, whenever I hear the phone doesn't work. And it's funny. I will find that person's phone number out and I'll call them. And of course, they don't answer. And of course, they never return the call because they're the ones who are absolutely afraid to pick up the phone and talk.
Yeah. I'll hold up my phone at presentations and say, you can actually talk on these things too.
It really is kind of a novel. Yeah. It really is I don't know. It kind of drives me nuts because sales really at its core is not that complicated. It's like you said, it's humans talking to humans. It's just having a conversation. But wow, man.
The longer I do this, the more I realize how simple it actually is, and people tend to overcomplicate it. And again, this is one of the reasons why going to Outbound or attending virtually is going to be so important for salespeople at all levels, because this is a training conference that gets into the nuts and bolts of how to do what we're talking about here. And for somebody I understand who might be new, or maybe you're struggling, or maybe somebody who just gets all their information from LinkedIn, from somebody who's just proclaimed themselves as a guru who really can't do it themselves, you're going to get the best techniques, methods, and processes from people that have been doing it successfully and teaching it for a long time. And I mean, you guys have just assembled such a rock star lineup and a lineup of topics and presentations. I mean, when I say that if I wasn't speaking, I would be attending, simply because the presenters, and I'm looking at the topics, I'm going, this is such great stuff. And here's another secret of a little preview again of the sales superstars that I've seen over the years. They're constantly learning. And one of my favorite phrases that I've been using forever is that we never graduate from the school of sales. And if you think you've got it mastered, that's when you start going downhill. The best of the best. I'm going to share the story on stage of one of my coaching members who was homeless at one point, and he built himself up to a multimillionaire by doing what, do you think? Prospecting. And he still does it today, and he's still learning today. And that's really
Art, I was never homeless.
Isn't that a rental behind you there?
Oh, living in a van down by the river. There you go. Yeah, I love it. Hey, but you know what though? See, this, you are hitting on so much truth here. It's unbelievable, because again, the top performers never stop learning. And I run into people who say, "Oh, I don't want to attend your program. I don't want to do this. I know everything." And then you look at their numbers, and they're average at best, if not lower performer. The top performers always hungry to learn more. The top performers always chasing the next one, and they're not. And you really upset quite a few people on LinkedIn when you said they're not, the LinkedIn gurus who have never done anything, but they profess to be the expert. Wow, man.
It's interesting there, and I'm sure in many of the thousands of presentations you gave, have you ever had a manager come up to you saying, "Hey, Joe over here, he's been here for a long time. He's a veteran. He's been here for about 25 years. He might be a little bit difficult because he's experienced. He's a veteran." And quite often, I find that those people are the ones that need the training the most, simply because they've shut down. And I think it might have been an old Zig Ziglar saying, is that the guy has 25 years of attendance and 1 year of experience repeated over and over.
That is so spot on, because I don't know. I guess that's one of the things that I love about Outbound. People always ask me, I get so many ideas, it's just the ability to be able to network with so many. And what's interesting? You become the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Jim Rohn used that line years ago. And so when you attend Outbound, you're associating with rock stars, because nobody is at Outbound that doesn't want to be there. That's what's cool. I'm always blown away. We'll say the doors are going to open up at 7:45 or 7:30, and people are lined up at 6:30 in the morning. It's like, wait a minute, this is a sales meeting. No. This is way more than a sales meeting. When was the last time you attended? You spoke at a company event
in person?
Yeah. Well, and people were lined up outside the door an hour before it began.
What, you don't get that all the time?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You are smoking a little, boy. You've been putting your head in the smoker a little too much there, man.
No, I know. And, let's face it, our job as speakers is to engage those people who, when training is announced, it's like, oh, we got to go through training again. And we've honed our craft over the years where we know how to engage those people quickly and let them know this is a little bit different, and you're going to get content, and you're going to get something that's going to be valuable to you, and you're going to hear some things that maybe you've heard before but perhaps aren't using. And that's the thing. What's really new in life, right? The principles that we're going to be teaching aren't necessarily new. You could go out and find them on YouTube or that internet thingy, and there's tons of information. But as I always tell people, information is worthless unless you're doing something with it. And too many people subject themselves, or they practice what I call the inoculation method of training. It's kind of like getting the shot that everybody's talking about right now. It's like, oh, I've had that. I had training before, as if you don't need it constantly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the most successful ones are the ones that are going to be at Outbound. And if you're thinking about it and you're not signed up yet, either live or for the virtual session, do it right now, because it's going to be one of the best career moves you have ever made. The content that you're going to get, and just because of the fact that you're going to take the action to do it and invest in yourself, or have your company invest in it, means that you're going to do what it takes to put these things into practice and start showing the results.
Hey, and what's your code? Because if people want to get the virtual ticket, they can get that right now, or still in person in Atlanta. What's your code to save $100?
My code to get $100 off is simply ART, A-R-T, ART 100. So put that in on the shopping cart page. Go now. Operators are standing by.
And the hashtag means ribs not included.
Well, I might be. Yeah, let me think about that, because I might send out an offer for people who are on my list.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of working you up here. I'm kind of setting the stage that I'm expecting, something from ribs or something like that. So anyway, but yeah, I tell you what, Outbound, it really is. It's kind of a cool thing. It's just simply amazing, and I'm always amazed at the number of people who come back every year. We get probably about 35% of the crowd comes back every year. And you think about that. Why do they do that? Because they're learning new content. That speaks pretty highly of the event. This isn't a one and done, no way. Yeah.
Well, and I think you touched on the networking part too. I mean, in addition, for those of you who are attending live, and let's face it, most of you have not been attending conferences over the past year or so. And when you go to these things, the side benefit is, or maybe a major benefit, are the connections that you're making, not only with the speakers, and we are going to be available, and we're going to be networking with people, but your fellow colleagues, your other salespeople. So you're going to form relationships with other like-minded people who are also either rock stars now in the sales profession or budding rock stars. And when you're hanging out with those folks, you're going to form relationships that you'll probably have the rest of your sales career. And that is something that you can't even put a price tag on. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's going to be beneficial on so many levels. And again, if you are attending live, make sure that you are going early, you're hanging out in the lobby, you're grabbing somebody else for lunch. Don't eat alone. Go out for dinner with somebody when there's, not an outbound function. And the whole experience is going to be something that you're going to remember the rest of your life, and it's going to pay off for you the rest of your sales career.
You want to know a little secret? The number of people who have called me after an Outbound and said, Mark, I got a new job because I was at Outbound. The number of people who wind up, they didn't go there looking for a job, but somebody approached them and they struck a relationship and they wound up coming up with an unbelievable. So, the benefits of attending Outbound are absolutely fantastic. So, that's you can't say it enough. Art 100. Hey, Art, we got to cut to the after the show here in a bit, but what's your website if people want to get in touch with you?
I'm transitioning mostly over to smartcalling.com. So smartcalling.com, it's kind of a blog site now, but you'll have access to tons of content and all my information. So smartcalling.com.
Great. Because that's a lot easier to spell than your last name.
I just remember the SOB part.
Hey, you know what? That is how I remember it. So anyway, crowd, you'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, hey, my name is Mark Hunter. We've been talking to Art Sobczak. Smart Calling is his book. Man, I'll tell you what, the man is a master on the telephone. We're talking Outbound, and Art's going to stick around for the after the show. So Art, stick around, okay? We're going to roll the video. We'll be right back.
This will be the good stuff.
A short video.
But caught me off guard.
It's okay. It's okay. We had somebody, I won't say their name, who thought they'd have time to go get something
Yeah.
and came back and screen was empty. So anyway.
And they walked in, they weren't wearing pants.
I'm not going to go through that picture right now. Okay. You are on your own. This is the whole thing. If you attend Outbound, which you will, Art, you're going to have to bring, something more than just shorts from the waist down.
I know that's going to be different.
You have to put on socks.
But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting suited up and being on stage, interacting with people. And like you said, I mean, the crowds are just so enthusiastic because these are all people that want to be there. They're eager to learn, and the energy, we just build off of each other. And I mean, let's go. Can we do it right now?
It really is. I mean, it really is amazing the level of energy that is in the room, and from start to finish. I mean, that's what always amazes. It's funny. The first year we did Outbound, we didn't know what we were doing. We still don't know what we're doing. But anyway, a lady came up to me after it was over, bawling her brains out. She's crying, and I'm like, and she said, "You changed my career.
Wow,
you changed my career." I was ready to hang it up. I was ready to hang up sales. And I thought I'd just come, this be one last time. Maybe I'll learn something. And what I've learned here today, you have changed my career. And she's come back every year since.
What a testament to to the speakers and the material that's presented. And the thing is, I mean, you don't even know how your life is going to be changed, because you could hear one thing that maybe for somebody else it flies right over their head, but for somebody else it could be that life-changing, career-changing moment that's going to cause them to skyrocket their results, find a new position, look at themselves differently, transform their identity. I mean, there's so many possible benefits here of attending. And if you can't come live, I understand there are a lot of people who may not be able to come live. Come virtually, because you're still going to get a great experience, and you're going to get some things that even people who attend live may not get, right? Because there are going to be some behind the scenes cameras following us around.
I'll tell you what, the stuff that we got the behind the scenes stuff planned. There are so many little surprises that await, whether you're online or in person. But I really do encourage you, if you can come in person, because again, hey, listen, we're in a ballroom that seats about 4,000. We've got it cordoned off, social distance. We'll have about 700 people in the room. Don't worry, it's going to feel really cool. The video screens are about 123 feet across.
That's going to be a little scary, seeing some of us up there that large.
123 feet across. I mean, when you stop and think about that, that is absolutely mind-blowing from left to right. It's spooky. So I don't know if I can tolerate an art that big.
I'm not sure I can. We may have to spare some people. But now the energy, the environment that you guys are creating, and kudos to you guys for all the work you put into this, especially after having it postponed over the past year, and just having to pivot constantly and pulling this thing together with at the magnitude that you're doing it. I mean, I'm just amazed. And people I kind of know what goes into these things, but I have no idea what you guys are doing with the number of moving parts. And I'm so impressed with the attention to detail and herding cats, as far as having us make sure. I can tell you folks that these guys are insistent that every single speaker is bringing the AA++ game, and they're leaving no stone unturned here. So you're going to have an experience that is going to be like none other. Yeah. This is not going to be, we're going to do a little, we're going to throw up a stage and have some speakers speak. It's not that at all. And it's not going to be speakers up there selling their stuff, even though of course we're all salespeople, we're all sales trainers. None of that going on. We're there for you guys to just deliver the goods and just blow minds with the value. And I can tell you, I'm putting hours and hours and hours into what I'm presenting here, just to make sure that people walk out of there and go, oh my God, I can't wait to start using this stuff.
That's good. That's good. Hey, I got to get back to reading your book, Smart Calling.
Gets better every time.
I know. So anyway, but hey, we need to wrap this up. But I'm looking forward to seeing you in just a couple of weeks, and you'll be able to recognize me. I may have my Creighton mug there.
Nice.
So, that's an inside joke for those of you who don't know the background of Art myself, but someday we'll fill you in on that. So Art, hey, have a great time today, okay?
I will, Mark. Thank you so much for having me on. Everybody, sign up for Outbound, and I can't wait to see you there.
Art Sobczak, Mark Hunter, Countdown to Outbound. See you in 2 weeks.